Hey, it's me, it's PLD.
And I'm Richard Jarvie.
And I'm Matty Gunner, and this is going to be bloodshed, warfare. Either way, this is class action.
And this is not going to be the classiest movie show interwebs today because there's going to be blood, shit, sweat, tears. We're throwing all at your face.
We are going into the big steel cage and we are going to be rumbling for sure. This is the very first for us on this show, Class Action, the show where we usually take two things and put them up against each other in a custom-made battle where we have custom-made categories and we determine who's going to be the winner, who's going to be the ultimate winner. But that's not what we're doing today. Today, we are doing the first ever Class Action Battle Royale.
In one show.
In one show. That's right. We did a tournament before. We've done a tournament before. In fact, we did a tournament with this very franchise of movies. But this is the first time we are putting them all together in one ring. They all have the shot to win glory. Battle Royale, Mission Impossible, 1 through 8, since the final reckoning has happened, and that's going to be the last Mission Impossible we're ever going to see, right, guys? And
sure.
He's gonna be doing this till he's 90.
Absolutely.
190. He's gonna live forever.
Oh, he did say, didn't he, that he wanted to be making films into his hundreds.
Yep.
And he will if he lives that long.
Bro, do Far Away too. Stop throwing yourself out of planes and
maybe he's an AI already.
You know what? That would honestly
destroy.
Is Tom Cruise the entity?
Yeah. Plot twist.
Plot twist indeed. It is celebrating Mission Impossible. The Final Reckoning did come out recently. Recently is a strong word.
Yeah, it's generous.
Close enough, generous, but it did finish out the franchise. And we decided, like last month, we usually try to do these shows. We try to do it something that was coming out, something that was like relevant. We did like The Accountant versus The Accountant 2 before that, things of that nature. So we figured this is like the biggest franchise that we've covered, like as far as like the most consistent franchise that this is pretty much the granddaddy of them all for class action. And so we decided, what else can we do? We want to do something special. So I just kind of pitched this idea to throw them all together. And the boys jumped and they were all like, this is the chaos we want. This is the chaos we need. And this is the fight that we're going to live through. So
I was surprised that you pitched this. The wacky ideas usually come from either me or Jarvie. So when you came to us with this, I was like,
I love it.
We've got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
So what we are going to do, we're not going to do any of our normal game, no recasting, nothing like that today, because we just don't have a lot of time to do. We have a lot of movies to discuss, a lot of things to discuss. We're going to have 5 categories, just so this is a new kind of strategy here, a new kind of rules, just so you're all familiar. 5 categories that we've come up with. We have 8 categories on our wheel, and we're going to spin 5 of them.
Real quick before you go on with that, remember what happened the last time we left Ed Harris out of this? We had to fight against the abyss at the end. Can you, the commissioner, guarantee me that Ed Harris will not appear to challenge the winner?
Or come up in any way.
I can guarantee that Ed Harris was not in a Mission Impossible movie unless he's the entity.
Ed Harris will not appear to face the winner of this Battle Royale.
I will guarantee that. I will not guarantee that I won't bring him up at some other point.
Okay, because we already did bring him up, so he already came up, so it's fucking game over.
He's not going to cash in Money in the Bank on the winner.
No, you'll not see Ed Harris walking down the aisle and hear JR saying, by God, that's Ed Harris' music.
Okay.
5 categories. We have 9 on a wheel, 8 on a wheel. I'm going to spin it, and then we're going to come through it. We're all going to list our top 3 in each category. And I have a big scorecard already written out. And somehow, at the end of the 5th round, we do not have a winner, then we'll go to sudden death, and I will spin another time for one last go at the wheel. And we're going to figure out which one of these movies is the greatest one of these movies. This is a franchise where all 3 of us have different favorites, I believe. If things have held true to what we have known before, I will come out and say point blank that my favorite Mission Impossible movie is Mission Impossible 3. Jarvie, what is yours still what I believe it is?
I mean, it's Fallout, the best one.
There you go.
It's the best one.
There you go.
Best one.
And Maddie, I know you have the very interesting and unique opinion that which one is the best?
2. MI2.
Yes,
MI2 is the
fucking
best one.
love it. I fucking
MI2 is
love
the
that
right.
you're picking that one.
Right. If you look at like what the movies of the time, like it's like what this whole brand of class action industries is all about. The cheesy action. He gets the girl, does the crazy stunt. The villain's kind of a goofball.
It's the only time he has sexual chemistry with a female lead in an MI movie as well.
In any movie.
No, he doesn't have that in the other movies.
Exactly. This is the only one that in any movie of Tom Cruise's career.
But in
This is the
MI2,
MI2 is the only movie in Tom Cruise's career he has natural sexual chemistry with a woman, which proves that a man of his caliber, this is the best movie of the franchise.
Maddie, I didn't know you were a golfer. Just so you know, lowest score doesn't usually mean the best in regular scores. But okay, we'll get
it's
there.
a low blow. That was a low blow.
I'm pretty sure one of the guys from Heroes Reforged also said that MI2 is the best one, so I'm not alone in this.
Well,
There are people out there of some esteem that have this same opinion as me.
Well, we certainly know that there's a lot of crazy people out there for sure.
Okay.
But the truth is, even though
it has the best music. It has the best music by far.
I will say,
Limp
I am
Bizkit,
shitting on it.
Metallica, Hans Zimmer.
I will shit on it, but I still enjoy the movie. I still enjoy I enjoy all the Mission Impossible movies.
It's a 9 in a sea of 10s.
Hunt.
Yes, it is a little bit of a characteristic. It's a caricature. It's a comedy a little bit to us, but yeah, it's still good. It's still good. Speaking of good or bad or ugly, we never got a chance really to talk about the one that just came out, The Final Reckoning.
Yep.
I'm kind of curious as to your opinions on this one. I will say that a friend of the channel and also co-host of two Middle-Aged Geeks on Film, PJ Campbell, hated the new one.
Really?
Hated it. Was so angry at it. Let's put it that way. So I'm curious
Why?
to think.
Is he backstage? I bet he's backstage, right? Because he's ready with his.
So I went to our good friend Jill and Sean's wedding in PJ. I pulled a photo booth strip from my safe the other day, and I sent the picture of it to both Jill and PJ because there's pictures of all three of us. And I was saying how it was a beautiful memory and how I really cherished that time. I am now going to go and burn that photo booth strip for this betrayal.
Betrayal, huh? Okay.
This is a betrayal.
He wanted to love it. He wanted to love it and did not. You know who also did not like it?
You.
Ben the Boss Bateman did not like it.
Oh, what the fuck?
Bateman, if you're watching, you and me need words.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
Because I wasn't a fan of Dead Reckoning. But
What?
Final Reckoning was it? No, I love all of the movies. When it comes to tiering them, Dead Reckoning is lower.
A 9 in a sea of 10s?
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. But Final Reckoning kind of stepped it up a bit, I feel like.
But to not like it entirely to the point you hate it, PJ, brother, who hurt you?
He was angry. He was angry.
Who hurt you?
Basically, he came off and said he didn't like the villain. He didn't like the fact that it took too long to get going. He also didn't like the fact that it didn't celebrate the franchise as much as it should have in a way. It
was all flashbacks.
It brought back the first one, brought back the third one, brought back
Dunlop.
every movie in the franchise. Yes, exactly.
PJ, I don't want to argue.
The Rabbit's Foot. The Rabbit's Foot was in that movie. MI3.
It brought back the glop shitto of all glop shittos, right? William Dunlop, the random technician guy from the vault from the first movie. They could have brought back Billy. They could have brought back Naya. They could have brought back anyone from the. They could have brought Alan Rickman back.
True.
But they chose Dunlop.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
What do you mean?
Not Alan Rickman. Fucking.
I can't bring him back. He's dead.
Get Hans Gruber in this, or Clay.
There is a theory that Die Hard and Mission Impossible are in the same universe.
Well, that would be interesting.
I saw it on a Reddit thread. I can't remember the whole argument, but there is a Reddit thread that links Mission Impossible to Die Hard.
I do apologize. I did bring up PJ's opinion without him being here to defend himself. So I just set the hounds free. And Maddie, to your point, there's no chance they're bringing back Billy anyway because no one else remembers Billy except for you.
You do.
He's the Murdoch of the MI franchise.
All right, should we get into it? Should we get into it? I mean, I will say that
We're
I
already
enjoyed it.
getting into it.
I
Me and
will. I
PJ are gonna
enjoyed
be
it.
getting into it
Fired
after
up.
this call.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't among my favorite as well. It was
You're
good.
insane.
It was
You're
solid.
insane.
It was
I
solid.
mean, that's fair if it wasn't the
was
best
solid.
one. It definitely wasn't
No,
the
it's
best
not.
one.
It's not fair.
So-
It's not okay. It's not right.
It's true. It's just true.
This
It's
man
just the
rid of-
facts, baby. Just the facts.
They got the biggest mistake was getting rid of Rebecca Ferguson.
that
That
you know what?
hurts me big time.
Still.
Me and POD had this conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still. I'm so desperate for her to come back that like there was like a still that someone took from the end of Final Reckoning that it kind of looked like it could have been her walking away
From
with
the
Tom
back.
Cruise. Like because Tom Cruise walks away at the end of the film. There's also like a little still like with her like hair. They think that she faked her death and was going with them, and that was like that's how much I'm willing to believe that she's alive. The thing that
How
pisses
do
me
you
off.
fake your death when the bad guy stabs you in the gut?
Have
It's
you seen
MI.
Star Wars? Lightsabers go to the gut and they're fine. It's a knife to the gut. You're fine. Walk it off. Throw some rub some dirt on
Walk
it.
it off.
Honestly,
Okay.
but the thing about that is the thing that really made me mad. Jarvie and I, we went through this before when Dead Reckoning came out. We hated it. That was our biggest awful piece of
I was not a
news that
fan.
came from it. No, not a fan. I think what the worst part about this is I don't think the Final Reckoning was supposed to be the final one. Like initially, that wasn't like the plan. I think it was supposed to be Dead Reckoning and it was going to go on for a little bit, whatever. And I think that's why Rebecca Ferguson, who we all know, she was quite frank about it. She asked
wanted
to be
out.
out. She wanted
Yeah.
out because she just
Yeah.
and she
But-
loved the franchise. She just didn't want to sit around and like she's not Tom Cruise, so she's not in every scene. She wants to be able to do other stuff, which makes sense. I honestly think. Let me finish this point, then you can say Matt, anything you want to say.
Because I can tell you exactly what it was.
I think she
Dune.
wanted to get out, and Dune is part of it. She wanted to get out, but if she had I think somehow after that happened, that's when Final Reckoning was decided on to be the last film.
Mhm.
If that had been decided on before, I think she would have stuck it out for the last film. That's my own thought on it, which makes
Okay.
me even more mad about it being the last film. Now I'm like, damn it.
So they were due to shoot them back to back, but
They were.
then Final Reckoning got delayed.
Right.
So obviously Rebecca then said, "Well, I got Dune 2 waiting for me, so
Yeah,
I
that's
get that
definitely
you
part of
guys, I get that you guys want me in this, but it's being delayed." Maybe she thought, I don't know, I can go do Dune 2 and come back, but then Tom was like, "Not waiting for you. I got the woman that I'm currently dating or was dating at the time, Haley Atwell. I'm good. We're good."
Yeah, that's the problem though. Also, because Haley Atwell is no Rebecca Ferguson, and I like Haley
Exactly.
Atwell, but
She's
she's-
awesome, but she's not Ferguson. Exactly.
She feels like a replacement for her. She just
Yeah.
feels like, oh, we need somebody else in here.
She's
Let's
a
just
bit
slide
similar
her
as
in.
well.
And that's like ridiculous. So
I mean, there
All
are reasons to back out of a project, and then there are reasons, but to back out because of Dune 2, I mean, that's kind of can't blame her, right? Because it's one of the best performances of her career, also one of the best movies ever made. Ugh.
And she could probably be, now that Denis Villeneuve is doing the new Bond, maybe she's the new Bond girl.
she would be a phenomenal.
Yes.
I'm
Well,
saying.
too similar though. I don't think she would. I think she'd be the villain.
That'd be cool too. Actually, I would like to see
Because
this
she's kind of been like the Bond girl of MI already.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I would think that she wouldn't do it, but a villain.
Or maybe they'll do a spinoff. Maybe she'll be her own. If she's the lead, like she's 008 or something like that, whatever it would be. She could have her own spin-off movie at some point too. I could see that happening. 'Cause that's what happened with Amazon. They're going to start spinning off everything at this point, I think, for better or for worse. But all I know is Denis Villeneuve is directing Bond. That's a good first step.
That's
That's a
friggin' the
very
best choice there
good-
could have been, except for Nolan.
Very good first step.
Yeah.
I actually would prefer Villeneuve over Nolan. Honestly, I think Villeneuve would be a better director on it than
I
Nolan
think
would
I
be.
think for Bond franchise, we're getting so off track. It's crazy. For the Bond franchise, I feel like Nolan would have done something really special and cool. But Denis Villeneuve is one of the best directors out there at the moment. Well, the only one who can go toe to toe with Nolan, so can't go wrong there.
All right, let's get to it. Then we have our categories. Let's list them off. There we go. Let me get the underlay of the way here. Best team, best villain, best stunt, best mission, best mask usage, best director of IMF, best opening, and the best MacGuffin. Are we ready to spin that wheel for our first category?
Yes.
All right, here we go. What do we got? First category.
Who takes the first one?
Best IMF director. Yay! So I'm going to let one of you go first. Maddie?
I would also
Charlie?
let one of you go first.
Maddie, why don't you go first, my friend?
See, I'm kind of torn between two for my number 3 because I have my distinct number 1.
Okay.
So,
Which are we going 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3?
No, 3, 2, 1. I think go 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so best IMF director. I'm gonna go with, and we didn't even get his name. Just having Sir Anthony Hopkins show up as the IMF director in MI2. A couple of his lines we probably could have done without. Lie to a man and go to bed with him. She's got all the training she needs. Probably didn't need that. But the director of IMF has always been a bit of a shit weasel. So, yeah. So for just the awesomeness, the gravitas that he brings to the role, I'm going with undisclosed IMF director name, played by Sir Anthony Hopkins.
It's director Anthony Hopkins. That's what we're going to call him. It's director Anthony
yeah, I
Hopkins.
can't remember his name at all. Like he was.
I don't think I'm about to search for it now. I'm 99% sure that we never, ever find it.
I don't think so either. I'm pretty sure we don't as well. I'm going to go with I'll go with my number 3 and give Jarvis the last shot here. Number 3 for me is from Jarvis' favorite movie. It is Alec Baldwin's in Fallout.
Oh, yeah.
You're going Hunley, number 3?
I like Baldwin in this role, especially after it's kind of like, it's almost like a turnabout is fair play after Rogue Nation. He's like kind of the antagonist-ish in Rogue Nation for most of the film. Then he gets to be on the side of the Angels and on the side of Cruz. He really switches that like role up and he gets really involved in the mission more so than almost any of the other IMF directors, if I remember correctly. He was really much in the action a little bit. I mean, he actually gets killed in action against from your boy there, Henry Cavill. So I think that Alec Baldwin has a lot to do with it. He fights the president. He fights the president, fights Angela Bassett's one-on-one, like verbally, backs Cruz in a way that you didn't think he could back Cruz, but like gets involved in the team and dies in action. How can you not give him a little bit of props for that? So Alec Baldwin, my number 3. Jarvie, it's up to you. What's your number 3?
All right. So it's weird because when it comes to the directors, for example, I know Angela Bassett isn't an IMF director, but she's kind of the one you want to put in that list. I know she's not one of them, so I'm not going to put her on. I think my 3 is a lot higher on your lists, but my number 3 is Kittredge.
Oh, okay.
I feel like he was there in the early days. I mean, they brought him back. He still got that amazing shit weasel way about him.
So you're going to go for his Mission Impossible 1 performance then? Because technically, Final Reckoning is like, what do you think? Like Dead Reckoning, Final Reckoning, he's kind of sort of, I don't know if he's really in charge there, but I would say if you're going to go with 1.
That's a good question. Actually, no, I'm going to go with Final Reckoning.
Final Reckoning. Okay.
I think in the first one, he was okay. He was there. But the way they brought him back, I mean, it kind of sounds like it's fan service, but I don't know. MI does fan service so freaking well, bringing back characters. So I'm going to go with Final Reckoning, Kittredge. Yeah.
I like that. I'm good with that. All right. Maddie, go to your number 2 then.
For the very same reasons you said, POD, I'm going with Hunley as my number 2. He's a guy who starts out not even as a member, the director of the IMF. He starts out as the director of the CIA. He's very critical of the IMF. You know, he says how they're, just jokers in masks and pulling tricks. And then he ends up, his final act is helping to pull off one of those tricks. So it's essentially the Joseph Campbell story, the hero story. Like he comes around
full circle.
I love it. So Hunley is Hunley in Fallout, I will say, is my number 2.
It's funny you say that because my number 2 is Sir Anthony Hopkins from Mission Impossible 2.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
He has a certain amount of gravitas in the
For
role.
sure.
Like he is probably the most like in control of the entire crew. He's got he's like, it's like a Hannibal Lecter role. He's on the screen very small amount of time. But every time he's on screen, there's no question who's in charge. Like Tom Cruise isn't even in charge. Like Tom Cruise is almost always in charge, even like no matter who's the IMF director. So it's still Anthony Hopkins in charge pretty much at this point. For everything he said, yeah, some questionable dialogue. He's the old man saying things that are a little out of touch potentially, but at the end of the day, he knows what he's doing. I'm going Mission Impossible 2.
It's the line where he's trying to convince Ethan to get Naya to do the job, and then he's like, "Well, if you know of any other method, you're welcome to try, but you've got 30 hours to do so."
Right.
And then he just hits that, and he just smiles. It's just like, you son of a bitch! Like, you know he's gonna do it.
He's got that grin. He's got that smile.
Absolutely. All right, Jeremy.
Damn, forgot about Hopkins. Oh, my number 2 is Hunley. Yeah, for the same
Rogue
reasons
Nation?
you said. Yeah, from Rogue Nation. I mean, Alec Baldwin, friggin' just his voice, his presence, the way he goes out. I mean, he was almost my number 1. I really wanted to put him as my number 1, but there's one that's even better than him.
Okay. And we'll get to number 1 then. Maddie, who's your number 1?
It's my least favorite movie of the franchise, but it has my favorite IMF director in it. Is MI1 Kittredge.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Same character, different movie.
I like where you're going, man. Tell me about it.
Because he is so. It's where you see the origin of his disdain for Ethan. He has things done by the book. He's very much the straight-laced guy. He believes Ethan to be the mole, and he's just like, he does things like puts money into Ethan's mum and uncle's bank accounts to set them up as drug lords.
He's diabolical.
He's a madman. He's a piece of shit.
There's a reason they bring him back.
That's exactly
why he's a good villain.
So he's a good villain.
Oh no, villain. He's not a villain.
He's antagonist. Shot time, but still.
But then the come round to Final Reckoning. I'm going to talk about that more later on. Of like, where does he do the deal on Final Reckoning on the train? What's the last scene you see in MI1?
Wait.
Him sitting with Max, and then Final Reckoning, he's doing a deal with Max's daughter on a train.
It's pretty cool. I like that.
Did we just fuck up a bit? Wasn't the director of IMF in Final Reckoning the British guy, the Robin Hood? Give me the name. The Robin Hood, Men in Tights, the movie.
Cary Elwes. Cary Elwes' character.
Yes. Wasn't he?
Cary Elwes, he was. There was like no real IMF director. He was like, it was basically like, if you want to say, that's why Final Reckoning is hard to judge him. I would give you Kittredge or Cary Elwes, because they're both kind of uppers. They're kind of like in charge. They kind of fill that role, kind of thing is what I would go with. So I think if you go, but Maddie's going with Mission Impossible 1 Kittredge anyway at this point. So I think that's a good way to point that out. But no, it's a good question. It is a good question. It's a little bit iffy there at the end. With, Tom Cruise is technically, Tom Cruise is always the IMF leader to a degree, to be honest with you, but I get that. All right, going with my number 1. The man who's got the best way to deliver lines anywhere. That's Lawrence Fishburne.
I knew you were going there. Nice.
Russell. I love the fact that we almost think that like Billy Crudup kind of makes him like, oh, maybe he's the bad guy and everything. But at the end of the day, nope, he is in charge. He is solid. He is cool as a Coke cucumber. Even when things are going wrong, he changes things up. I love the line at the end there. I was like, what is the rabbit's foot? Tell me you'll stay, and I'll tell you. Very smooth about the whole thing. I was really surprised that he didn't come back later on, because he just made it great. He was just a good fun, has like the gravitas of an Anthony Hopkins, that kind of role, but he's actually more actively involved in the rest of the movie, unlike Anthony Hopkins. If Anthony Hopkins had the size of the role that Lawrence Fishburne had, I might have given Mission Impossible 2 the win there. But Brassel is the best. He's probably outside of Huntley, he's probably the most active of the bunch. But there's something something swift and cool about him. I love me Lawrence Fishburne anyway, so it's easy when you cast somebody like that in the role. It makes me hard to not like him. So I'm going to give him my number one choice for me. So, Jarby, who's yours?
My number one, Anthony Hopkins. Yes, sir. He's the best one in my opinion.
I love you.
I
love
know,
you.
and it's for all the wrong reasons. I know he's not in it that much. I mean, he's all style, and you talked about the problematic lines, but like the style that he has, he's like poetry in motion. He is just suave. He brings some of that Hannibal side of him. He's still the good guy. I mean, and he's mysterious. And you said he's always in charge. He is always in charge. No matter if it's Tom Cruise, fucking Doug Ray Scott, or Thandie Newton in there, he's in charge. You want to follow him, and he's just freaking stylish.
I can't argue that. I mean, I say he's my number two, so he's definitely.
Did they ever say why they didn't bring him back?
Well, I think he's too. Maybe he didn't want to, because MI2 gets shit on a lot for.
Yeah, that's true. It could be. MI3 is kind of like MI3 is kind of like almost like a reboot. They wanted to I don't think they wanted to change the whole everything. They want to it ties to the previous ones. That's probably honestly why Billy never came back either. To be honest, all jokes aside, like Billy never.
They brought back Dunlow. They could have brought back Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. But you know what? Lawrence Fishburne's not a bad choice to be the one to replace him. So, all right, there we go. Let's move on to our next category. I'm not going to keep up to date because I pre-filled out mine already, so I don't know. I actually won't know until the end. I pre-filled out my scorecard already, so I can't tell you who's winning right now. To be honest with you, we'll have to wait until he comes to the end. I'll show you exactly who always won. All right, I'm going to take off IMF director so we can move on. All right, let's see what we got here. Category number 2.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, it didn't happen.
That wheel
would have been too soon. It would have been too soon.
Just cock teased me. I'm sorry. It just totally
I was going to say, we almost got the rematch of the century, but
too soon.
Not today.
Not
sorry,
today.
what was it? Best stunt?
Best stunt. Yes,
All right,
it is the best stunt we have. Okay. Wow. I don't know how to. Well, that's scary. Okay, Maddie, you're the leader, man. You're the leader. This is your franchise. So let's you start off with the best stunt. Your number 3 best stunt.
Number 3, I'm going with the jump off of the Burj Khalifa.
Okay, so Rogue Nation.
The entire
Ghost Protocol. Sorry, Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol. Yeah. It's been done before, but never in a movie with a guy who's not wearing a harness. And he's jumping off the tallest building in the world without a harness. Just
some cables.
It's insane. And the way that it adds because a lot of people don't realize that the TV show of Mission Impossible is also a comedy. Like, it has comedic elements to it. 100%. So when he has the line and he's kind of looking over at the window, it's just your line's too short. No shit. A lot of people kind of are like Red Dead. Yeah. A lot of people kind of guffawed at that. I'm like, that's perfect. That is
great.
The story that Matt Damon told on a talk show of how he asked Tom about it, and they said, what if they say you can't do it? He goes, well, I'll fire that person and get someone who can tell me how to do it. Just shows how dedicated TC is to that jump.
As if we needed any proof. Absolutely.
I mean, he didn't do the F1. No, he didn't do the Ford v Ferrari because there was too little driving for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just skipping projects because there's not enough stunts. So
there needs to be that Days of Thunder and F1 crossover sequel.
Days of Thunder is coming.
Absolutely, that's right. All right, I'm gonna go. My number 3 might be a surprise, but I think that not necessarily the stunt itself, but what the stunt kind of meant for the franchise, and that's the Mission Impossible 1. It's the rating. It's the rating of the FBI there of getting the black ball. The one when he's hanging down in the list.
So just the drop.
The drop,
the sweat
drop. it can be an overall stunt. I think that's an overall stunt package. The dropping down with the sweat dropping and everything else. I think that like even though like it's not the most like spectacular of the stunts, like it just is kind of like the most talked about moment of that film, and like it's still to this day. I mean, hell, Final Reckoning brought back the knife and brought back like the idea behind the character who they're stealing the necklace from.
Fucking
So
Krager.
it's not it's not necessarily like just like that's spectacular. Oh, it's a Tom Cruise stunt. No, it's not at all. But it is like something that stuck in my mind throughout the entire franchise. Going through that, I can go, this, that, and then. But this is the one I go, I like this one so much. It goes back to it's like that start, beginning. It's that warm up.
It's suspenseful. It's really suspenseful, even now.
That drop of sweat coming down, like he's like, gotta catch it. Beautifully done. This is exactly the whole thing. I love the suspense of it, so I wanted to give it a little bit of shout out because I know it doesn't get talked about a lot in the grand scheme of things, and I understand why. Because usually people talk about the death of five, the hanging planes, and saying this to me was something that I thought worked out well for it. So that's why it's my number 3.
Yeah, I don't consider that one a stunt. Well, the only one where he drops because the sweat. I mean, everything that's part of the mission that he's on. But I do get your point because he's still dropping on cables and doing stuff.
It's a stuntman work kind of thing. I mean, not for Tom Cruise, but still counts enough, especially for number 3.
Number 3 for me is the well. First off, there's all of the 3 on my list could be considered the number 1, which is freaking crazy. But third one, it hurts. But I'm gonna go with the bike jumping off the cliff. And in some ways, it's the best, and I know that it deserves a place on the top. It is one of the more cinematic. I'd say it's the most cinematic one because it's just one simple thing: jumping, releasing, landing. Like the purity of it. I don't know. I don't have anything to knock it down with. Just that the rest of the 2 are even better, in my opinion.
I get that. I totally get that. Makes sense to me. In fact, you'll see why. Maddie, go for your next one. Your number 2.
Final Reckoning. The plane stunt at the end is fucking in that. What the fact that so the submarine stunt they did inside of soundstage. They did it in a studio that was all very controlled. The plane stunt wasn't. That was Tom holding on for sometimes not even holding on.
Yeah. He's 0 G's at some point.
0 G's floating around, not around the plane, between the 2 wings, and he has to stay there to get to be in the right distance away from the camera, so the shot's in focus. Like he had all that planned out the whole time. If a bird had been flying that way, if the gust of wind had blown him in the wrong direction, no more Mission Impossible, no more Tom Cruise. Like that is instant death. And then how does he top it off? Oh, I'm gonna no parachute dive towards the ground. Like how can I one up a Halo jump? Oh, a Halo jump with no parachute.
Pretty much, right? Absolutely.
Fucking madness.
He is a madman.
Yeah, and he went up multiple times. I mean, there was even
15 times.
There was I can't remember. It was an interview off of the Final Reckoning movie. One of the stunt guys said that he had to hide one of Tom Cruise's parachutes because he wanted to go again, and he hid it so they couldn't go again. Because he said it's not safe because we're out of parachutes. You can't do it. They actually hid it. They had it.
That's funny. I love it. Okay, my number 2 actually is why I didn't say much when Jarvis talked. I love Dead Reckoning as well. I love the motorcycle jump. I think it's a fun jump. I think it is like something. There's something very pure about it, and a little bit comic to it. I love the whole getting up to that stunt too. The whole he's like go where? And Benji's like, you'll figure it out.
Benji's like, he's always like, go fucking do it. You know how to do it.
I'm under a lot of stress right now.
Then it flies out there, just the openness of it, like just holy shit, man, that's a guy driving a motorcycle off the top of a cliff and was like really doing it, really excited about it, like loved doing it and going down. And then you follow it up. Honestly, I would even say that's the specific stunt. But even going on, I love like the train aspect of it afterwards. A lot of the train stuff afterwards, a lot of fun as well.
Full circle to MI1.
It is full circle. Exactly, absolutely. So I'm gonna go with Dead Reckoning for me for number 2. So Charlie, who's your number 2? What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the biplane scene in Final Reckoning. For exactly the same reasons. I feel like it's one of the longest stunts. I think it's an entire scene, so it's a long stunt. It's the most dangerous stunt. It's the most crazy. Like actually watching the movie, I felt so scared for Tom, especially in the 0G moment when he's going like freaking just starts floating. I'm like, fuck, this guy's just gonna die. I can't watch this. And not because of the movie. I'm just fucking Tom Cruise is gonna die. It's great. Also, he talked about some of the same thing as Maddie said. Like he has to be in the shot. He has to direct himself. The jacket that he was wearing, there was a lapel on the jacket that kept slapping him in the face, and it was like someone punching him in the face because of the bad winds. I mean, there was so much that could have gone wrong, and he still freaking did it. He's the oldest he's ever been in the MI movies, and it's the craziest stunt that he did. Again, this could be the number 1 stunt, but for one little reason.
If he doesn't win the first Oscar for stunts because of that biplane scene, the Academy is crooked.
Well, he's getting an Oscar, but he's not getting them for stunts, right?
He's getting a lifetime achievement. I think.
Yeah.
He needs to get the stunt Oscar for that. Like,
well, but I don't know if I don't know if the category is going to be there yet for that particular one.
Yeah, that's I think 2 or 3 years away, but
yeah,
they should still give it to him because he's going to space. I'm pretty sure that the stunts Oscar is going to be awarded when the space movie is coming out.
That could be. That's absolutely could be. So absolutely. All right. I guess that is where are we up to now?
Number 1.
Maddie's number 1. Maddie's number 1. I'm a little tight. I'm trying to do the score, so if I get a little lost.
I'm the fact that we have. I hope that this is both of your number 1s because it is mine, and I'm not just saying it because it's my favorite movie in the franchise. Hanging off of a cliff, no wires, just deciding right. I'm gonna jump from cliff A to cliff B, and then I'm going to turn around and hang backwards and just hold myself there while you get this shot. Oh, by the way, that is a fucking 1,000-foot drop to, again, instant death. Like, it's just crazy. He's insane.
I forgot about MI2's cliff climbing.
Not only is he just, like, hanging there, the up job, you work out too, like, the upper body strength that he must have to have.
What are you saying? Wait, what are you saying, Maddie? Saying I don't work out? That's a bunch of bullshit right there.
Not to the point where like you.
Wow.
He's like on the beach every day riding.
This is why no one likes Billy.
You're the PSH to my Henry Cavill.
What? But like, he's not. He's only got like a little bit of room to be holding on there. Give MI2 the respect it deserves, man.
I forgot about MI2 in this category.
It's not too late to put it as your number 1. Peyote's got to go, so you could still do it.
At the end of the round, if you want to, if you've been convinced otherwise, you can shift things down if you want. I'm willing to change it. I meant to do a second to change the script. That's all. It's my turn to go number 1 now. And I love MI2. It's not in my top 3 though. I'm sorry. I love it. I do love it though. Maybe because I don't work out. Maybe that's what it is. But for me, it's actually one that you already mentioned, Maddie. It's your number 3. I love Ghost Protocol. I love the Burj Khalifa. Like that's always been my favorite, no matter what. It's been hard to top that for me ever since I saw it. I just get this immense sense of dread every time I'm watching it. And it's exactly the same reason you mentioned about the comedy aspect of it. No shit. Like when he's like makes that jump from the line, makes the running like leap,
hits the head.
His head, like, and Renner has to grab him and then he can grab onto a leg while he's hanging off the top of that. I love the moving up and the glove fails. You're like, I really feel like anxiety when I watch that. I think it's because I think what I love about it is because it's like all the other stunts are awesome, but they are kind of like one and done. Like, the motorcycle done, boom, done. Kalava is like a long
scene. The biplane is a long one.
It is. You're right. It is. And I did consider that one as well. But this one it feels like the it's like 20 minutes of a stunt pretty much. Every little bit of it is like kind of like scary to me. And I always go back to it no matter what. That's the one. It's always been my number one. So it still is number one to this day. And no one's gonna ever convince me otherwise. Jarvie, what do you got for number one now? You gonna change your mind? You gonna switch some things around, or what are you gonna do?
I'm not gonna change my mind, although I am a bit disappointed in myself. But my number one is exactly the same one as yours, Ghost Protocol, Burj Khalifa. It's also the reason why I love it so much is it's the first time he really went big on the stunt. Like this is the breaking point where the stunt started to get really, really outlandish, but still like believable and grounded. And the thing about the climbing of the Burj Khalifa, which sounds ridiculous, is the most grounded one in a sense, because he's just climbing. But and again, the jump at the end, the glove, the humor, and the fact that he did it without a harness, like Maddie said, just like some light cables on him. Fucking insane. But it's the big thing is that's the breaking point in the MI franchise, that it really started to be like a different kind of breed, sort of.
It's interesting.
And that set the tone.
It's interesting you note that, and I don't disagree with you. I almost feel like there's 2 points, because like MI and MI2 are kind of usually lumped together. MI3 is just kind of like a weird one in the middle. But like it really saved the franchise. After 2, which was not well received, 3 basically
actually wasn't well received either.
I
don't think it made a lot of money, did it?
Watch your mouth.
I'm saying that 2 was less well received than 3. 3 changed the idea of Mission Impossible. I'm not saying 3 was ultimately super successful, but it kind of changed the serenity of what was going on with the franchise. And then they come back with Ghost Protocol. That's when it became a new more stunt-driven Mission Impossible. I just think there's a lot of ties back to 3. Some great performances as well.
One thing to add about MI3, and I almost put that stunt in, and it's barely a stunt, but in MI3, the rocket where he he launches against the car.
Yes!
I mean, it's such a small, it's not even a stunt when you think of the big stunts, but they came up with that one on the day. That wasn't in the script, that wasn't in the plans, and they were like, we're going to get the blast of the rocket and just shove him into that car, and it looks so cool. The way he flies into it, you kind of feel like that really is the blast of the rocket.
I almost put a bunch of that in there for 3. I also think the building jump, with the hang glider, everything else comes down, and afterwards he gets out of the window with the parachute that's too low. That's a pretty sizable stunt as well. Honestly.
He's not really doing them like on the actual, like he's not really fucking up the landing with the parachute. That's
right.
Probably why we don't put it there.
Right.
But the honorable mention I want to give is the building jump, the building running, the parkour scene in London, where Tom broke his ankle.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Going.
Kept going.
Fucking limbs
out of the.
Like at the time, I was like first seeing it, I was like, oh yeah, limping off. Yeah, of course he just jumped the building. No, fucker broke his ankle and was like, no, keep rolling, keep going.
That's true.
Badass.
Badass, dude.
All right, that's it for best stunt. Then let's move on now to our next.
Should we change the order as well? Let's decide before the category who goes first.
Oh, if you want to? I was going to go all the way through the same way, but you can do whatever you want to do.
I think Jarvis should go first.
I'll try to go first.
Okay, that's fine.
I know what's coming up now, though.
All right, let's see what we got. 3 categories left.
Ooh.
Nice.
Best opening. Okay. All right. Best opening.
Ooh. This is tough.
I'm trying to look at my. All right. There's quite a few ones that I thought were the openings, which in fact aren't the openings. So there are some interesting tidbits here. But my number 3. All right, I'm gonna put it in there, even though I kind of hate and love that moment at the same time. My number 3 is gonna be MI3, the Count to 10 opening, and I hate it with a like a hot passion, because I fucking hate when movies do flash forwards show them at the beginning of the movie. I fucking hate the idea. I think it's a cheap move. I think it doesn't show confidence in your movie. You kind of want to blow the big thing before, and then you kind of lead up to it. The beauty of the scene is that you build up to it, not that you just show it right out of the gate. That being said, it is one of the best scenes in the entire franchise. Where we all agree that's the best acting Tom Cruise has done in the franchise and probably ever.
I think it's the best scene in the franchise.
It is a freaking awesome scene, and I feel so conflicted because I freaking hate the decision to put it at the beginning of the movie. So for that reason, it's my number 3.
Okay. Yeah. Look at that. All right. I'll go next if you want, Maddie.
Yeah, you go
first. For
first.
me, this is where I guess one reason I felt comfortable about leaving off the hanging in MI2 was because I actually put it as my number 3 for the opening. I do love the opening sequence. It's
not an opening.
How's it not?
MI2 hanging in the cliffs is not an opening. The opening of MI2 is
got a point.
Tom Cruise
it's the plane.
and the scientist on the plane. And that is the entire opening when they sit next to each other. Friggin' Dougray Scott is in the mask of Hunt, and there's like I can't remember the scientist's name. He steals Chimera, gets it on the plane, and the plane fucking crashes, and that's the beginning. Then we got the whatever.
Okay, then I will take some time. I'll let Maddie go, and I will readjust them if that's the decision. Okay.
Because that would have been my number 1. That would have been my number 1 otherwise.
God, this is tough. I think I'm gonna have to go MI1 because it kind of sets the scene in Prague. Like it sets the stage for like not just the film but the franchise. Like the double play, the play with the masks, the whole like setting up the team dynamic, and you know. You have them at the party, which for some reason I keep thinking of Hitman 2, the level where you have to sneak into the like the Russian party. Yeah. Every time I watch a movie, I keep thinking of that. And then you have Jim, who's kind of sitting back, watching the whole thing play out. And then you start watching them all start dying. Hannah, Jack, like all of them just start dropping like flies. And then you have this scene where he's like, iconic Tom Cruise yelling scene of they're all dead. My team is dead. Classic. Vintage. So I'm going with MI1.
That's fair. Okay. Then I'm gonna have to wild card guess. I would go with Rogue Nation then, maybe then with the plane sequence there, plane sequence, and this less because of the stunt and more because of Benji. I love Benji, his character at that point.
Wrong door.
Oops. It does hang off the side of the thing. That's pretty cool too. So I'll go with that as my bonus. I'll go with that. All right.
That is one of the fastest running start of the openings, like because you feel like they're all gonna be like bombastic openings, but they're actually not. They're
right.
Sort of slow openings, except for a few. But that one just like fucking. Tom Cruise keeps. I think he pops out of the freaking field and just starts running. It does the opening.
Literally running.
Literally running start.
Okay. I guess we'll go with number 2, and that would be you, Jeremy. Number 2.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Rogue Nation as well. Same one for me. I do love the humor, the kind of fast-paced start of it sets the tone. I think Rogue Nation is one of those MI movies that is like low-key, always there, but never quite the best. So it's one of the best ones in that sense because it could probably take the categories in. Yeah. Anyway, my number 2. Yeah, Rogue Nation. It's a tough choice. Tough choice.
All right. This is actually where I slotted Mission Impossible 1 for exactly all the same reasons that Maddie did. I think it just set the stage very nicely. It built the tension up very well. You get some of Tom Cruise's best moments as Ethan Hunt, like really young Ethan Hunt, really kind of just figuring out where he is and what to do next. And he's kind of confused, not confused, but he's like just not. He's never been in a situation before like this. Like he feels like he's always won. He feels like he's winning a lot, and he just gets to this point where his whole team's dead. And he doesn't know what to do at this point. I think it's some nice little complex compared to the rest of Ethan Hunt's career in a way. So yeah, MI1 is my second favorite at that point.
I'll circle back to why that wasn't my. We'll come back to it at some point.
No, go for it. Go for it.
No, I can't yet.
Okay.
So where are we?
So we need. Let's see. Best opening.
My number 2, right?
Maddie's number 2.
Yep.
Utah. Give me 2. MI2. The opening scene. Sets up the callback to the quote that we hear throughout the movie, as we say, "You're sorry, and I'm sorry."
Both sorry. And
then you have Douglas Scott just going, "You keep calling me Dimitri. You really shouldn't. You're not Dimitri." Bang! Pulls was it Commando, where he elbows the guy in the face and he goes, "Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired." hits him with that. Rakorovich is just laying there dead, and then he's just like, you're thinking. The first time I saw it, I was like, "Wait, what? Ethan, what are you doing?" Pulls off the mask, and it's fucking Ambrose, and you're just like, "This son of a bitch."
But there was always something wrong with the version of Ethan in that scene. You feel like there's something fucked up about him. The way he talks, he's like sort of arrogant, not the way Hunt usually is, but you can't really pinpoint it.
I mean, he's arrogant, but not the point of like vindictive.
Yeah.
That Ambrose is. Ambrose is just like a vindictive prick. And then watching it back now, the mountain range, you can quite clearly tell was done like on a soundstage that they just painted, like put a picture of a mountain range up. And then you see, it's just like the captain wakes up and he tries to pull the plane up like as best he can, and you think, bro, you're not making it out of this. You're done. So, number 2 is my number 2.
Okay. Where are we?
I think it's my number 1 now.
Your number 1. Do it.
Yeah. This is the most wild card pick for my number 1.
Please be wife and
I think it's very underrated. I love Ghost Protocol's opening with I think it's Josh Holloway.
Yes.
He's just one of the agents in IMF. He has an amazing freaking scene where he just goes through the guys. He's like Ethan Hunt sort of esque in that moment, and the way they just take it away from us when Léa Seydoux just executes him. I mean, it's such an awesome scene and such a painful one. And I love that Ethan Hunt's not even part of it at all. This is just a different type of thing. And yeah, just it hit me. And it's not the one that when I think of opening, it's not the one that comes to me straight away. I really have to get there. But that kind of, I don't know, makes me love it even more.
And if the scene after it, if the prison scene was the opening,
it's so good. The way
that's number 1 with a bullet.
I actually almost did that for that reason, and I realized I didn't realize MI2. I really forgot.
Yeah, they had the train station.
That the train station does count first, because otherwise the Russian scene would have been one of my probably at least number 2. I think, because I love that sequence. The Russian prison sequence is hilarious. It sets up that tone right away. Like the team, Benji, and I love Benji and Ethan's interactions. That's just like my favorite parts about Mission Impossible movies.
And a callback to MI2.
Not gonna do it. No.
A callback to MI2 in that scene when he opens the door. You are not Sergey?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very true. Oh, I never realized.
Even though his name in 2, his false name was Dimitri. It's still a fake Russian name, and he's just like, "You are not Sergey?"
And the actor does a really good job. Such a lovable oaf in that one. Like,
Yeah, he really is good in that.
They should have brought him back.
Yeah,
yeah.
that would have been actually kind of fun. That would have been actually kind of fun. I don't know why they didn't. Oh well.
He's the one that pulls Ethan from the Arctic.
Right.
Remind
What
me
was his
after
name?
the show. It's an inappropriate joke I need to make about that guy.
What was his name? Bogdan.
Bogdan
Bogdan was
right,
his name.
Yeah.
All right, for me, Jarvie, I'm disappointed in you. I don't care. It's count to 10. It's got to be count to 10. I don't care. What, tell me opening.
If it
whatever.
weren't the final,
I get it,
scene,
but I don't care. Like, it's just the most important scene in MI. It's the best scene in MI. I don't care where it takes place.
That's
it
fair.
can take place at the end, beginning, middle, whatever. It's Mission Impossible. When I think of Mission Impossible, I think it counts to 10. Greatest villain, greatest scene, greatest acting. It's number one with a bullet. That was like one of the easiest choices I had to make the entire time.
I think Paul's internet's messing up. He cut off.
Am I okay? Bastards. All right, that's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with easily. Easily, 3 is my opening. So
I feel that was a bit of a PLD signature cheap shit. Like Eddie Guerrero, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Lie, cheat, and steal? What?
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a lie, cheat, and steal there.
Is it not the opening?
It is the open. Hey,
you asked me if the best opening.
No, it is. It is an opening. It's just
you're telling me the best scene in MI history, and it's an opening. How can it not be the best opening?
Is it the best scene in MI history?
Yes.
It's
just facts. It's just facts.
It is.
Okay.
And that's purely because of Ben and Drew that I love that scene.
That's true.
Oh.
That's true.
Hey, Sean McCabe.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
Hey, Sean,
man.
I'm going.
So where are we?
Maddie's number one.
I'm going with a real controversial pick,
and I
mean real controversial pick. My number one is Final Reckoning.
Oh, the Sevastopol, the submarine. Oh, dude, I thought about that one. No, that's Dead Reckoning.
No. Final Reckoning is kind of the summarizing of the whole story up to this point.
Yeah.
And then, bro, all it needs to be perfect is someone going, in a world. Because you have Ethan Hunt.
That is controversial.
Controversial.
Ethan Hunt on the run in Trafalgar Square, of all places. So he's not really hiding in plain sight because he's just inside a little corridor inside Trafalgar Square. He gets the tape from the president, which, by the way, character arc, Angela Bassett being the president now. But
David V, good to see you, my friend. And you know what? You're not wrong. I understand. I appreciate it.
Funny, I'm actually hanging out with David this weekend, so we can have a bit of a chat about that. He gets the message via a VHS tape. What was the thing that we used to watch MI1 on? VHS tape.
MI2 as well.
MI2 on a VHS tape. And it's just like, it's the mission for Ethan. Please just come back. Please, we need you to just turn yourself in. Otherwise, the world is going to go to shit. All we need you to do is come back.
Understandable, David.
That is the weirdest pick so far, I'd say. But like all
props to you.
All props to you because you're all in on it.
Hey,
respect.
I respect your ability to make a trash take and argue it.
I am pretty good at it. But it's just the nostalgia of it and seeing all of it come together.
Okay.
Even though it only had 2 clips from MI2, which did bug me.
I should have had none, but that's okay.
Talk about me with trash takes. Anyway, next category.
All right, let's do our next category here.
So PLD starts now?
If you want me to start, I can start.
Yeah, you can start now, yeah.
All right, let's get the best opening out of the way.
I think you could have just hit remove on the one there.
Could I? Maybe. I've never used this site before. All right, we'll do it anyway. Category number 4. We only have 2 left.
I know what's coming up.
Mask usage. All right. It does work that way. Look at that.
Oh, wait. Now it's on Best MacGuffin.
Because I just removed Mask. I removed it. So mask usage is what we got. All right, mask usage. Obviously, these films are known for their masks, and it's kind of a funny category to do. It's almost like this is the weird thing. Like talk about what's the best film in the franchise, right? And the mask usage is such like a small but like fun part of it. Like you could have a movie be like the worst movie and have the best masks. It's going to get points for it. That's how the cookie crumbles, though. In this way, we do these things, which is why I always say you got to wait and figure out what we're gonna see here in the categories. But I'm gonna go with it. Best mask usage for me, number three. Number three is, get my list up. I'm sorry for this a little bit. I'm going to go and, where is my list here? There it is. This is where I put my MI3. I love, put it through here. His bit with Philip Seymour Hoffman. And I love
that one.
I love that bit. I love that bit. When he has the whole thing and they're doing the voice, and he's like, he's trying to coughing, trying to get the voice going. He's trying to, the security guard's got it going, what the hell is going on? Having Tom Cruise be Philip Seymour Hoffman just rocked it out for me. So,
he's really challenging, channeling Cruise there.
It seems like if you're watching the movie, you can tell that Philip Seymour Hoffman really looked at Tom Cruise and has tried those mannerisms just like him in a way, which is funny because it's like, Philip Seymour Hoffman has to be Tom Cruise, who's trying to be Philip Seymour Hoffman. So it's like a big circle of things there. So that's where I'm going to go with for number three. Whoever wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay.
All right. This is one of the most controversial ones now. And my third best mask usage is in Fallout, where the mask doesn't work.
Oh, okay. I got it.
I know it's kind of a cheat, but I love the fact that the mask doesn't work. Then he has to go all in, just friggin' hope that he doesn't get recognized. And of course, it leads to the famous fist cocking scene that happens in the bathroom where it just fucking obliterates everything. But I know fist cocking kind of sounded weird, right?
We all know what you're talking about.
I think it's the only. I can't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the only time that the mask doesn't work the way it's intended to.
Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol in the hotel room.
The hotel.
Was that also when it fucked up?
Because it melts down. It melts down. They can't use the mask. That's when they have to switch up.
Yes.
I guess that's what you're talking about.
Didn't remember that one all, but the fact that Fallout kind of sticks with me. The fact that it didn't work there, and I don't know, the stakes felt.
Okay.
Wait, am I mixing those two together? Did the mask fail in Fallout, or did he without?
He didn't. He wasn't able to do the mask because they knocked him out with the briefcase.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, it's still messed up. Yeah, okay.
So you weren't able to get it. They couldn't get it to work. So yeah.
No, so it doesn't lead up to the fight.
Actually,
happens, and because of the fight, the mask doesn't work. Yeah, all right.
That's
kind of saved it there.
Back it saved it up. All right, Maddie, number three.
Can we give 2 spots to the same movie?
Yeah. It's
mask
usage. All three can be in the same movie because there's mask usage.
Interesting. I always thought. Let's digest. I always thought it's the best mask usage in the movie, and it means in the movie. So you can't if you're all three. No, because if you do all three as your number ones, that means the film is the number one. It's the film with the best mask usage, not the best specific mask usage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the best film
specific
with mask usage. You can use that. I mean, do you have 3 of the same film?
I thought I did.
Or 2 of the same film?
I thought I did, but
because the way I would do it,
in the interest of fairness, I'm not going to do it.
I think we should just mask usage is the best film because we're looking for mask the points. I don't want to give like 9 points to a movie for specific mask usage when it's like the category is mask usage. Like it's the film with the best mask usage.
Now I'm seeing Jim Carrey as the mask. Okay.
That would be number 1 actually for me.
Okay, my number 3 is going to be Dead Reckoning between Vanessa Kirby and Hayley Atwell.
Because it's a solid one, yeah.
You can quite clearly tell that her eye color is different.
Yes, you can tell. Yes, you're right.
And yet the brother who is with his sister all day, every day, notices that she changed her outfit.
Right.
Doesn't recognize that her eye color changed. It's just kind of that like silly humor.
I
She
agree.
could have used contacts to look good, you know.
That's true.
Girls do that.
Right,
Men do
Vanessa
that as
Kirby
well.
with blue eyes. I'm saying.
All right, I like it. I'm good to that. All right, so back to me then for number 2.
It's your no.
Yes, it's mine for my number 2.
This is complex.
Mass usage. Dead Reckoning for exactly the same reason that I thought it was well. It was really like Haley Atwell did. I mean, Vanessa Kirby, I should say, actually did a wonderful job. Much like 3, much like Seymour Hoffman being Cruz. I thought that Vanessa Kirby was doing a good job playing the Haley Atwell part because she's such a different character as Max, or Max's son, I should say, rather the White Widow, rather. And then she tries to be like the less confident, but still trying to be confident. That kind of background with trying to be Haley Atwell. I thought she did it very well. So I really liked her in that. So that's my Dead Reckoning for me. All right, there, Jarby. What's your number 2?
Yeah, my number 2 is MI3, the
Okay.
PSH scene. Yeah,
Right.
and also I even go back a bit. I think it's the first time that they used the 360 camera angle on getting the mask on. And it was like you first see that they putting it as clearly a mask. They pan around, and it's like the actor, but still doing the ends of the mask. I don't know. It was such a well stitched scene in that regard because it was seamless. It looked cool, and I mean, it leads up to the pretty much everything you said about PSH. Just not challenging Cruz, channeling. He's challenging him as well, but channeling Cruz with just freaking hand gestures. Just he's sort of Tom Cruise's, energetic, snappy way that he is, and just without saying anything, he's mimicking and embodying him.
Absolutely.
And the fact that it's such a comedic scene as well. Just
it's a great choice. It's a great choice.
And there's a awesome moment when he says, like, what's the line? I fucking told you to wait outside or something. But his voice like almost like does the freaking the virtual crack.
Right.
And it's like, and the security guard is almost like he catches it, but he just can't believe what is it. Wow. Okay.
But obviously, yeah, absolutely. You understand why he does in a way. It's good. It's good.
Fuck, it's almost my number 1.
It came close to me too. So, all right, Maddie, go with it. What's your number 2?
I'm going with MI1. The scene at the end where you get the big reveal, because you think Claire's walking in and she sees Jim, and it's the classic stupid villain revealing the plan, revealing too much of the plan, and then off comes the mask, and it's not Jim, it's Ethan. But then Jim appears from the shadows.
I love that.
So not only is it a double twist, it's a double twist on a double twist because Jim is watching the whole thing take place.
Right. Yeah. Like, no, it's the first time you really get to use the mask in that kind of fashion. Like it's like getting to see it and having be like in the climax is really kind of cool. I really appreciate the idea of having it all in there. Matt, good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you, my friend.
What's up, Matt?
Thanks for popping in. All right. So, okay, then best mask usage. We're down to number 1 for me. This one actually could win, surprisingly, because of the categories. I give this to MI2.
Yes!
I give it to MI2.
Because it's the fucking best. It's my number 1 as well.
Please be the one I think it is. Please be the one I think it is.
To me, it's the thug when Tom Cruise puts the mask on, just his mask on the thug, and it has Joker Scott shoot him.
On stamp? Yes,
it's the best.
Yes.
It is so good. It is so fun. It's the best usage. It's the best. When I thought mask usage is the first thing that popped in my head, this is the best. Not just the fun mask, but it's the usage of the mask in the situation. It's an easy one for me, no doubt. So
it's by far the best one. It's Maddie same.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so we can riff on this one. Yeah.
We're gonna get
you go because I have such a go.
Okay.
It's such a fuck you from Hunt to what's the villain's name? Douglas Scott. Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Such a fuck you to Ambrose. And the fact that Tom Cruise isn't even a part of the mask reveal in that one, I love that. And just when they show the finger, he sees it. he knows his fuck. Like, he killed his number 2. He killed his best dude himself. I mean, that almost makes Hunt the fucking villain because he's so diabolical.
So good. Yep.
Oh, it's juicy, and I love a good revenge story, and just the
Absolutely.
way he's serves it to him, freaking ice cold.
Perfect. Maddie, I mean,
I was MI2 was going to be my number 1 pick regardless. I was torn between the bit where he goes in dressed as Draconovich to Brendan Gleeson's character, John C. McCloy, in the hospital when he thinks he's sick and he thinks he's got Chimera, because that scene worked. So the scene with Solomon Lane in the hospital, getting him to read the manifesto, could run. But it is, without a shadow of a doubt, it is the one with Stamp. And the reason I'm so excited about it, because like it's a little note, but people just think because MI2 is like this whacked out action movie that there's no like deeper into it. He said earlier on the thing he hated the most about Ethan was the fact that he was grinning all the time. The hardest thing he had to do was to do that annoying grin the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has the moment where Ethan, as Stamp, says, "He can't talk. I think I broke his jaw."
Yeah, stop mumbling.
He's mumbling, and then he's just like, "I think I broke his jaw." And then you just get Ambrose like laughing because he's like, "You shut him the fuck up. He can't smile. Oh my God, you have given me this gift." And then suddenly he just shoots him, and then you get the big epic music.
And then he's just running away in slow-mo.
He's running away.
Absolutely.
And then you get the most glorious scene of an explosion, doves flying.
Doves. White doves.
For no reason.
I mean,
The white doves. I don't even know if white doves exist in Australia, but they do for John Woo.
They do for John Woo. I love it. All right. One last category, and then I'm going to let you guys vamp while I go backstage and make sure we got the score right and everything else. It's a little more complicated, obviously. We got 4 categories. What's going to be our final one? That's a great question that we're asking, and I'm going to be a little sad if it's not something, but let's make do.
There's 4. These are possibly like the 4 hardest categories, really.
I agree.
those are all good.
Let's do it.
It didn't happen, guys.
I gotta call a rebate. We need to spin again.
Okay.
What the fuck are you doing?
God damn.
And again.
You guys, you can't do this.
And again.
This is rigging the game.
And again.
This is rigging the game. What the fuck are you doing? Oh.
That's villain.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wow.
Look at that. That's villain. I don't know how it happened.
Oh, my God. That is unexpected.
Unexpected for sure. Oh, best villain. The best possible one.
Who could possibly have seen
that
this
was
coming?
the worst. That was the worst. That was so
I'm
fucking low.
I don't understand. What's the issue?
I'm gonna just.
I don't understand. What's the issue?
He's not even one of the villains. I'm just gonna sit back and let you boys take this.
I think Matt, I think you got to put your number 3 in there first.
Oh, my number 3. I kind of just want to get to number 1 just so I can watch you two duke it out. God. I'm actually going to give it again to Kittredge, because Kittredge is a slimeball piece of shit. Constant. Oh, let's go. Dead Reckoning.
Okay.
Dead Reckoning, Kittredge.
That's interesting that he slots in as a villain and the IMF director.
He is both in a way. He's antagonistic. I mean, technically, that's just the way it goes. I mean, technically, Crudup is on the IMF team.
But isn't the entity the villain in Dead Reckoning? Oh, sorry, Final Reckoning.
He is a villain. I mean, technically, you could pick the thug. You could pick what's his name. We just
Gabriel.
talked about the guard, but like from Mission Impossible 2, it didn't have to be thuggery. It could have been the thug leader favorite villain. It's
Okay.
a villain. So
Because it's just kind of like you've never learned. Like, how many times has Ethan pulled off the, okay, I'm gonna go rogue, but it's for the greater good. Even says it's for the greater good every time.
Right.
But Kittredge still can't get that into his thick skull that every time Ethan goes rogue, it's for a good reason. It's because he doesn't want to be pigeonholed and have to do everything by the book. He needs to do certain things. You know, it's not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's mission impossible. Difficult should be a walk in the park for you.
absolutely.
He needs to just put roadblocks in front of Ethan every time, which I get serves as like a good counterbalance, but it's not like he's doing it to push Ethan. He's doing it to essentially get Ethan to fail.
I mean, there's a reason why you bring him back, right? There's a reason why you bring him back. I mean, he's
Because
definitely.
I hate him.
Because you do hate to love him. He's like the first guy. Because the funny thing is, like, I mean, even though technically speaking, he's not even technically Jim Phelps, the villain of the first one, honestly, more than anything else. Kittredge, though, is that first like antagonist you get, because like that sit down scene with him and Tom.
You think he's because of that scene. You think because you have the Heat diner scene that you think that he's the villain.
Yeah. So I mean, he is a villain. He's an antagonist. So I could put him on in the villain side of things, and technically speaking. So I agree. I think it's a good choice. And it's definitely very fun. I'm glad they brought him back because he was that was my favorite parts about Dead Reckoning, Final Reckonings. They brought him back. So okay, Jarvie, what do you want to do? Your number 3.
My number 3. No, I actually the number 3 is very open-ended for me. I could do many here, but I'm gonna go with, I think he's really solid. He doesn't get a lot of love, but Solomon Lane is number 3.
Okay.
I feel like he's
Rogue Nation or from Fallout?
From Rogue Nation. Yeah, for Rogue Nation. Fallout, he is just friggin' tied up the entire time.
He's still in charge though. So
yeah, no, he's a nobody there.
he's definitely in charge. He's in charge.
Yeah, he's a nobody. He's a nobody.
Really? That's John
not
Larkin's
doing
question.
anything.
John Larkin's
not doing anything.
answering to him. So.
Oh wait, whose time is this? This is my number 3. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is a prelude of what's coming. But yeah, Rogue Nation. Love Sean Harris's. I mean, his presence, his delivery, and he plays it very subtle. He's sort of downplay. He's almost monotonous. He's sort of. You feel like he, acting wise, you feel like he might be phoning it in, but no. He has that sort of squeaky, I don't know, raspy voice to him. He does feel dangerous there. He does feel menacing, but not enough to take the 2 or the number 1. But Solomon Lane, still a solid pick.
Okay, that's solid. My number 3 is actually Dead Reckoning's Kittredge for the same reasons that Matt was talking about before. Actually, I do like that. I love that Kittredge. I didn't love Kittredge in the first one, like I said, but I liked him, but I didn't wasn't until they brought him back. I went back and reappraised him, and because he has lasted that long, he is a shit weasel to the core because he's able to survive everything that's gone down. Even at the end, he is still going. He's and he gets in charge. No matter what happens, shit always comes up his way enough. He'll temporarily get set back by Tom Cruise and stuff, but he will keep coming back like a bad penny. And he still does that to the end. So I still like him. And I do love the fact that he does have some respect for Tom Cruise. I love the moment when Hunt breaks into the office and gasses up as his aide. And then he knows it's coming and is like, all right, yep, of course he is. He just has his knowledge about it. I think he's a fun character. I like where his place is. I think he works out very well. I'm going with Dead Reckoning. So, all right, Maddie, you're number 2.
I'm not just doing this because I want to set the stage for you two to have the epic battle to the death. I genuinely do believe this. This isn't a bit. My number 2 is Owen Davian.
Okay.
Philip Seymour Hoffman carries, dare I say, carries MI3. He really does. You get everything from Tom Cruise that you get in every other movie. He's no different. The action, the stunts, yes, they are thrilling. no different to any other movie. Apart from my number one, I don't think we've had a villain that strikes fear into the heart of not only us, but Ethan Hunt as a character. Like he's the only one that got to Julie. Like
Right.
he, yes, like knew about her, but he never got to her. Ethan didn't allow that to happen. Owen got to his wife, got into his personal life, and just knew it from his first name.
His first name, yeah.
The scene in the plane where he's just like, Ethan. And he doesn't even know his last name, but you just have that sense of dread of like, oh, fuck, Luther, what the fuck did you do? What the fuck did you do, man? So, yeah, MI3.
All right, I'm good with that. I'm good.
That's my number two now, right?
Yeah, you're number two as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna carry over Maddie's. It's Owen Davian, PSH. To add, he's got the dead eyes. Like when the count to 10 happens, he's just there's almost no emotion. He's just staring him down, and it's just dead eyes. There's just nothing there. It's just destruction. And if we were giving out the best performance in the MI franchise, not talking about I'd say best. He's even doing a better job than Tom Cruise in any of the movies. Then PSH is the number one as far as villains go. Yeah, he's number two. Strong, but not as strong. Because you know what's stronger? Big biceps.
You like
That's
thugs.
That's okay. A fact.
Number two for me is where I go with Rogue Nation. This is where I go with Solomon. This is where I put Solomon Lane. Because he is a guy who does go Solomon Lane, and he is in charge in Fallout as well. So he's even though he's the prisoner, he's actually the one that's in charge. He's the one that's in charge of the whole thing. So I think that Solomon Lane lasts for two films. The Syndicate is my favorite villain organization, honestly. I mean, like the Apostles are fine, but I feel like the Apostles are like, okay, we need another name for a cool name because we have the Syndicate. They're in jail, so we got to have the Apostles now. I think the Syndicate made that because the whole thing that started from that was one of the best parts of the Mission Impossible franchise, right? The whole Syndicate's real, and the whole thing they got the whole thing going and everything else. And Solomon Lane has a very calmness about him. It's a very chilling about him. It's a very he is never the only time he ever really loses his cool at all is at the end, right? At the end of Rogue Nation, a little bit when Benji's got the bomb on him, and Tom Cruise kind of Ethan Hunt says I have it all, and he decides he can't kill him. He kind of has that moment of all right, fine, I'll stop the bomb. But everything else until then, his met with Rebecca Ferguson, it's a beautiful moment as far as his just the chillingness of the villain. I go with Solomon Lane as my number two. So, all right, Maddie, who's your number one?
My number one is The Entity.
The Entity.
Really? Okay.
You're gonna go dead reckoning?
That actually makes so much sense.
I'm gonna go with Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning.
It's a lot more of a.
Actually, technically speaking, you put Dead Reckoning third with Kit Ridge. So you got to do your Final Reckoning, or you put Kit Ridge for Final Reckoning.
Move Kit Ridge MI1.
Okay.
The Entity and Dead Reckoning.
Okay. Done.
I mentioned earlier how it's a full circle, a cycle of MI1. The Entity picked Gabriel to be its agent because of Ethan's past with Gabriel. Gabriel killed his wife before he was given the choice to join MIF. So if this guy's coming after you, what do? The Entity is based on patterns, on history, on learning. So it set everything in motion. The final chase being on a train. He would have known about that from MI1. The relationship to Max and having Max's daughter on the train with Kittredge. Using Gabriel as its agent, the man who killed Ethan's hunt, before Ethan killed Ethan's wife, before Ethan even joined the IMF. He was going to get arrested and possibly killed before the IMF gave him, the choice. So it's this elaborate, like, it knew all of Ethan's patterns. It expected his behavior. It knew what it was going to do. Add to that, it just showing up on the walls at the party where they're all there together. Elsa, Gabriel, Ethan, they're all there in the party scene, in the little VIP lounge bit. And then you slowly start to see it appear on the walls. And you're like, oh, fuck. Like, this thing is watching everywhere. And then you go to the real world aspect of it. I mean, look at the US Department of Defense just give the $200 million contract to the company OpenAI. That's some real shit, dude.
I would argue. And
what the entity also did effectively is make MI3 one of the most important films in the franchise. The beginning of the entity, because the Rabbit's Foot was actually the start of the entity. I really love that, because MI3 doesn't get a lot of love, but they kind of put it there to make MI3 so much more important than it was.
It is. It really is more important at that point now, because I do like that aspect of it. I love them bringing back the Rabbit's Foot, and I love the fact that, like, because that was part of the joke, not joke, but like the fun moment of 3 was that the Rabbit Foot was a true MacGuffin. Like, it wasn't like we never found out what it was during 3. We never found out what it was. It was just.
And now we do.
Now we know. Now it's the
end. Final Reckoning. Now you're like, fuck, you should have left it.
And that's why Brassel should have appeared in Final Reckoning, because he knew what it was. Definitely should have brought Brassel back. Lawrence, where are you? My boy. The only problem I have with the entity as a villain, and why I wouldn't put him on my top 3, but I understand why you do. I would say that the entity is as far as, like, he's probably honestly the most powerful villain. Obviously,
kill Luther.
I mean, he can kill Luther. I mean, he has a control. It's like a superhero. It's like a Superman villain, pretty much, versus like everybody else is a normal.
But you do need a face for a villain, right?
But that's the issue. Is like, for me, it's kind of a cold villain. And I don't interact. Like, I don't have the same kind of feel towards this cold entity.
It's everywhere, though.
I mean, that's why we had to have.
But in a way, he's all the villains. I mean, it is all the villains.
They had Gabriel. They needed Gabriel in there because they couldn't just have the entity as a villain. It's the only villain in the franchise where you needed another villain in there, because it wouldn't, like, otherwise you can't really face off against it in a way. It's kind of like I understand it's powerful, but it's at the same time, it isn't. I want to give me a one-on-one villain with somebody myself. But it's just, again, that's your mouth may vary, and I'm arguing why I wouldn't put it in the top 3 for myself. I feel like it misses something, but okay. All right, Charlie, why are you wrong with your best villain choice?
I'm just gonna sit back, boys. Have fun.
All right, number 1, the best villain in the franchise is the man with the glorious stash, which in fact ruined a very good movie, Justice League. Yes, the stash ruined it, but for good reason. It's Henry Cavill as August Walker. I mean, the fact that they had the balls to cast Henry Cavill, the hero, the good-looking guy, the guy everyone wanted as James Bond, as a villain. And what a freaking villain he was. I mean, he was kind of Casino Royale-esque blunt instrument of a villain, which I really enjoyed. I mean, he had the looks, he had that sort of calm, dangerous, menacing side of him. But when he threw down, I mean, he was just a freaking mallet going through everyone. And the reason I didn't put PSH as my number 1, Owen Davian, is the fact that when it comes to villains, I need Ethan Hunt to be sort of matched in every department. So if you put just an empty room, you put 2 and 2 together. I mean, Owen Davian can talk shit, but he can't take Hunt in a fight. I need the villain to be menacing intellectually and physically. And he was pretty much the complete package. Sure, I know what you're going to argue. Solomon Lane was in charge of him. He was tied up. He pretty much was the whining guy sitting all roped up while Walker was pulling the strings. And of course, he lost, because all villains are supposed to lose. But just his delivery. I mean, one of the greatest scenes that still gets gift so much is when he's getting ready to fight. He lost the fisting thing.
So, like, let me see if I've got this right. You don't like the Dark Knight then, right? Because the Joker couldn't take Batman in a fight.
No, I'm not talking about the Dark Knight. I'm talking about
I'm talking about your reasoning behind villains. The Joker couldn't take the Dark Knight, right? So is Joker not a good villain?
That doesn't reason in. We're talking about MI. Stay
no,
on target.
No. I'm talking about villain. I am talking. I am asking you.
Go in the notes. Go in the notes. This is a Mission Impossible.
Look at this guy. Knowing he's in the corner now. Knowing he's in the corner now. It is. I'm attacking your reasoning.
Okay.
I am attacking.
Thanos comes, snaps his fingers. Owen Davian dies. He can take Owen Davian. What the fuck, dude?
No, but I'm saying
valid point.
Your reasoning is that I didn't make the claim. Your reasoning is that you need him to be a physical villain, otherwise he's not as good of a villain.
A physical as well.
And I'm telling you, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. So I'm using the Joker as a way to say, I'm saying, so if you're using that same category, then the Joker's not a great villain for Batman.
I am not hearing your reasoning because we're talking MI.
Well, because I'm talking about villains needing. You said in order for a villain to be a strong villain,
Hunt. I said to face off Hunt. I need
what is Batman, but Gotham's Mission Impossible.
Not talking about.
They use his mask.
Not talking about Dark Knight.
I'm just saying your reasoning is faulty, and that you don't need to have a physicality to be a good villain. And menacing, count to 10, out menaces anything that John Lark did. John Lark got everything wrong. He screwed up half the time. He ended up. Let's talk about like the stuff he gave to Angela Bassett. Fooled out of the way. He got fooled halfway through the mission. He is dealing with his real leader. He's not even the best villain in Fallout, let alone the best villain in the franchise. Solomon Lane's a much better villain category than Hunt. Ethan, you're telling me that John Lark, Henry Cavill, is basically a glorified thug, is a better villain than.
Yes, and even though he's a glorified thug, he's still the most menacing, the coolest looking, the most physically capable. I mean, they go freaking head to head in that helicopter.
Can I also
down the cliff. One side is completely burnt off.
And yet, Philip Seymour Hoffman and Ethan Hunt got into a tumble at the end of Mission Impossible 3. And Philip Seymour was holding his own until he got run over by a car. Until the car was there, he was still holding his own.
Yeah, but go back. You said we talked about the entity being in charge of the rabbit's foot. So the entity was just using Owen Davian as a puppet to get the rabbit's foot. So he was a puppet of the entity.
That's a good point.
Not in charge.
I also should add, John Lark, when he rescued Solomon Lane, they were both equals because John Lark didn't want to rescue him. Actually, in the scene, he's
go back.
In the scene, he's like arguing with him. He's like, "Why'd you have to be so difficult about this?"
Why'd you be so difficult? But I'm doing it because you're the one in charge. If he wasn't in charge, he wouldn't do it. He would just make his own. If he didn't really want to, he'd been like, "Fine, just kill him and get away with it. I don't have to worry." No, because Solomon Lane wants to kill Ethan Hunt or punish Ethan Hunt. John Lark is going along with him because Solomon Lane's in charge. That's right.
But we talked about
because he also hates Ethan Hunt.
Just saying that John Lark is the glorified thug. Got a good cocking villain, good cocking arms.
That's fine, glorified thug, but still, he's the best of them. Hugh Stamp could be also in the running. He was a second lieutenant, but the way he's acted, the way he moves, what he does is what defines him. Not where he's ranked in the villain fucking, because the entity wins every time. Entity was pretty much moving all of them. So in that sense, the entity is the best one. In that sense, Matt is right.
No, definitely not.
The way he moves in his own sandbox is what makes a good villain.
And I'll throw it in there, best villain, but then you got to throw in performance as well. You can't deny performance. And Owen Davian.
I said performance is the best.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's a part of villain is giving a good performance to villain because you have someone like Michael Nyquist. Not a great performance. We don't remember the villain.
So terrible.
Right, we don't remember the villain at all because he's not got a great performance. Yes, he wasn't written well either. I wouldn't argue Owen Davian was written well. Owen Davian took that and made it. It's like Count to 10 could have been very shitty. if it wasn't for who delivered the scene, who delivered the lines. I think that Owen Davian was, like Maddie said, the most menacing of them, most scary of them. Like John Lark was kind of like he just was a stepping stone, physical. He's pure physical. And I think Owen Hunt Owen Hunt.
Oh yeah, he is.
Owen Davian.
Physical.
Owen Davian is in charge. Like he is a mental villain, and he can hold his own. And it's not like he's a wuss. It's not like he can't fight. He fought pretty well. But he's also the only one when he's being tortured on the plane to sit there and go, "I'm going to just hurt you." He is the one that's being tortured. He's like, "I'm going to hurt everyone you love. I'm going to kill her. I'm just going to kill you slowly. I'm going to make her scream." He is the one being tortured, and it felt like Tom Cruise was on the receiving end. He's on the receiving end of that. No other villain can do that. It's a magical villain. I can't understand how anybody could ever mark him down as being not the greatest villain in the mission. It blows my mind. Especially you guys. Like as someone who like loves these kind of villains, these kind of performances, you're only as good as your villain.
He was a puppet to the entity. All roads lead to the entity.
I don't know about that.
They're all puppets when it comes down to that. It's who is the greatest puppet of them?
All right. I actually would think we all can agree that Chris McQuarrie might be a bigger villain for killing off Rebecca Ferguson. I could actually agree with that. All right. I'm going to go backstage. I'm going to let you guys rank the Mission Possible movies or something to that effect while I figure out the score. And I will be back soon. So as soon as I figure it out, I'll come back on. So I would.
You better not change the results.
Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna.
Let's go through that. Jarvie, how do you think that your rematch with PLD? Think of this as like I'm Michael Buffer in the ring. You're Anthony Joshua. You know, you've just been through this war with PLD.
I love the fact that PLD had to go fishing in other franchises to come again. He couldn't stay in the sandbox he was playing in. He had to go out. We weren't talking about other movies. We were, so it kind of actually, it's a compliment because he couldn't take me in a straight fight, so he had to go out of his way.
Whoa.
I knew it was coming back.
Whoa. Again, I didn't go fishing. I didn't go out to the franchise. I wasn't arguing that who's a better villain. I was making a point about your specific, what your reasons were. I was talking about. I was shining a different light to showcase how your reasoning was wrong.
Paul, count the scores, please.
Roll the tape.
We will let POD have it. We will let POD have his day in court.
I was hoping he would find this so infuriating.
William Harold in the chat saying, so Bane was a bad villain. I mean,
I'm not talking. No, Bane was one of the best.
Tom Hardy was pretty. I used to hate the Bane voice until I heard how Tom Hardy came up with it. That it was like a old board villain boxer, like, hey, you want to talk like this, hey? And then like he just kind of built on it. I thought that was pretty cool. But that was everything I wanted it to be. The clash between you and POD. I purposely, kind of left Owen and John Locke out of my argument so we could leave it to you two to battle those two. But that was story. So let's rank the movies. We both know our number ones, and we said them at the start of the show. Mine is MI2. Yours is Did you say yours was Fallout?
Mine is Fallout. Yeah, but MI2 is kind of it's like the weird movie in there. In
so redheaded stepchild.
We had one more category that we didn't put on. I think we're gonna talk about because it's not we had a female lead in it because Hunt always has sort of the counterpart to him. I figured it's we'll cut down on the categories. So if you would have had that in, I think MI2 would have gotten in the top 3 or top 2 because Thandie Newton in MI2, I mean, one of the greatest second leads.
Do you know they explained away why she wasn't the wife in number 3?
No, why?
So there was, I want to say it was like a comic book or something, or like I don't know, like an additional note that she was killed in her sleep in that. So they lived in the same house in San Francisco that Ethan and Julie live in, but it was originally Ethan and Naya's house, and someone wanted to get to Ethan, so they snuck in the middle of the night and killed Naya in her sleep. And then Ethan came back, and that's what caused him to go. Phew. And then he found Julie, which is what brought him back in.
So there's a comic of Mission Impossible.
It's a comic, or so it might have just been the director being like, "This was what my idea was." But yeah, so they basically explained away why Naya wasn't the love interest, even after Ethan fell in love with her after one night, which I get, that happened. Hans Zimmer music playing, there's Hans Zimmer meets flamenco music playing. You see Thandie Newton walking across. I get it.
Yeah, the Limp Bizkit song, the instrumental version of "Take a Look Around." I think I had that on cassette, like the cassette Walkman. I think.
Oh wow!
I was listening to that one on there nonstop.
So me and my friends in Grand Theft Auto 5 recreated the Metallica "I Disappear" video, where he jumps out of the skyscraper and you have the plane flying across the desert. I have to find it because we just used our Xboxes and just screen capped it. We just recreated the music video for it. Okay, so number 2. What's your number 2?
Overall, now it gets tough. I think, there's 3 movies I could put there. There's seriously 3 movies I could put there. It is.
So you got
MI3, Ghost Pro. No, there's 4. Fucking MI3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and MI2 is also because I have MI2 is for the same reasons for you. I just love it probably a bit less than you. But yeah. Okay, if I had to gun to my head, I have to pick a number 2.
Count to 10. 10.
Yeah. And yeah. So that's probably why.
8, 7.
Wait. I think it's MI3. Just
Same.
because you had to count down.
Same. I would put it as my number 2. My number 3. I'd probably go. I'd go Rogue Nation. I think I'd go Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I would go Rogue Nation. What about you?
I think mine's Ghost Protocol. I remember the Switch. Ghost Protocol was the switch to sort of like Fast 5 was for the Fast and Furious franchise, sort of like a leap forward into the big stunts, into the bigger crews. We didn't get to talk best team. That was one of the categories. MI3's team, low key, is really freaking cool. I mean, it would never be number 1 or number 2, but I feel like it's an underrated team there.
Yeah. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. We do have our record there. So, all right. I'm going to go from 8 to 1. So, coming in last place, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, with 6 points.
Wow.
These are the categories. We are killing it. This is amazing how these work. This is we always say it every week. It depends on the categories. Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, number 6.
Best team. I had Rogue Nation as number 1 because of Rebecca Ferguson.
I did as well, actually, for Rebecca Ferguson and Jeremy Renner both.
I went number 2 because they bare bones it. It was just Billy, Ethan, and Luther the whole time. They didn't have all the rest of the team.
Number 7, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, with 8 points.
Okay. All right.
6, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, with 9 points.
Okay.
Fair.
Tied with Mission Impossible: Fallout, also 9 points.
Ooh.
Number 4, Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol, with 10 points. Tied with Mission Impossible 1 with 10 points.
1 got so far ahead.
Yeah, it's not even my favorite of the franchise. I'm wondering how that got so far ahead.
Which means We have
Oh
two
my
films
God.
left.
Oh
Oh my
shit!
God, Maddie, it's
Oh
happening.
shit!
Oh my God, it's happening. It's happening.
I'm gonna say, or just say the winner. I think the winner.
Yeah.
No, no,
Say the
no, no, no,
winner.
no, 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 no.
Say the winner. Say the
You
winner.
got to count to 10. You got to go 2.
I don't want to go to the winner because I'll give the points afterwards.
Okay.
Winner with 20 points. Mission Impossible 2.
Yes. I'm so happy for Maddie.
I am very happy for Maddie as well. Mission Impossible 3 came in second with 17 points. I think we're so concentrating on ourselves. We didn't realize.
so vindicated in my life.
I realized as I was looking at it,
Mm-hmm.
the categories went absolutely perfectly for Mission Impossible 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mask usage.
I almost put Ambrose as number 3. You know.
That would be a solid choice. IMF leaders with Anthony Hopkins, stunt and open stunt with the free light. It pretty much, if you wanted Mission Impossible 2 to win, then you would have picked these categories to charge.
I did.
So
And
Maddie obviously had something to do with the wheel.
hold on, I'm gonna go back on this because I was AFK from the chat when you guys were deciding the categories.
That is true. That's true. I meant the wheel choose like the specific combination of the categories.
Brother, I gave you the setup on the final category. That was yours to take. That was yours to take.
I know. And yes, I did try to cheat to get a bill. And just I wanted the conversation. I didn't care. We needed the conversation. It's better theater. All right, Maddie, I gotta say, you won. I feel good for you, my friend. And it's the only podcast in the history of mankind that would say Mission Impossible 2 wins the Battle Royale.
That's what I love about class action. It's the categories, man.
This is like Santino Marella winning the Royal Rumble.
Did he ever win the Rumble?
No, he came close. He thought he was going to win the one time.
Didn't he? He's got like the record for shortest time in the Rumble.
Yes, that was the next year. I think the year before or like that. Yeah, the one time where it was the last. It was the last one. It was him.
Or did they do a hornswoggle and keep him under the ring the whole time?
No. He actually just happened to be the end there, and Alberto. He actually hits his finishing move on Alberto Del Rio, and you think he's going to do it, and then they switch it up.
Okay.
Anyway, my God, I am shocked and chagrined. It's amazing. This is definitively what class action is about, though. Like Jarvis said, it is.
Alien Resurrection 1-1.
You put these movies up.
MI 2-1-1.
The category is just sometimes the dice falls the right way, and that's what happens, my friends.
There was one thing that I said before that I wanted to circle back to.
Okay.
You said so we didn't get to talk about best mission, and PLD, you said Mission Impossible 1 was your favorite stunt. Was it your number 1? Or?
Correct.
Yeah.
No,
so
not
for me,
number 1. That was my number 3.
Okay, because I kept that entire scene out of the stunt category altogether, but I had that as the best mission.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like
my faux pas of the hanging, the opening hanging thing.
Yeah.
That I felt unsafe.
Because I freaking love the fact that it was like mostly done in silence.
Yep.
Sound, sort of like details were the things that mattered, and I had that one as number. And Mission Impossible 1 also best mission. I considered the opening. Like the opening is a mission that failed. It's the only mission that failed, like so grandiosely that everyone died. And you start the franchise with a mission that was impossible.
Good call. I'll start out there. My best team, I had Rogue Nation, then Dead Reckoning, and then Mission Impossible 3. Those are my 3 teams. Dead Reckoning, because Ferguson still counts. Obviously, she's still there, even though she dies. And Mission Impossible 3 is the beginning of the team. When you get Benji and Luther together, that's the beginning of the team right there. What else did we do? Best mission, I had Rogue Nation on top.
Oh, really?
The Syndicate. That was the time I felt like it was mostly in there. I had 3 next because I like the Owen Davey and the Rabbit's Foot. It's funny, like the Syndicate is the best threat at the time, but Owen David's Rabbit Foot being so mysterious, I actually liked that it was not that we didn't know what it was. I kind of liked that aspect of it. That and Mission Impossible 1 was my 3rd favorite of the missions themselves, for exactly that kind of thing. Best MacGuffin, 3, the rabbit foot.
Oh,
2,
dude,
Rogue
brother.
Nation.
MacGuffin number 1 was Rabbit's Foot because
That
they
was
made
fun.
it so important later,
Yep.
and the fact
My
that
my number 1 was 2 with Chimera and Bellerophon.
Bellerophon. Yeah, dude. I had that as number 2.
That would have been my number 4, I think. I think I would have gone with that.
Because essentially it's like, I don't want to say that John Woo predicted COVID, but John Woo kind of predicted COVID with a big virus outbreak. There was only one cure for that was specifically in a laboratory somewhere, but we're not going to get into that. But and like the historical fact, like the Chimera, and then they show the pit, like they get the flashes of the actual, like the beast, the Chimera, the head of the lion, the tail of a snake. I just thought that was badass. I would have put the knock list as my number 2.
Oh, nice.
Because that's essentially like all the MI agent, all the IMF agents that are disavowed. So they're kind of fucked if that list gets out in public.
Yeah, absolutely. I did actually had the knock list as my number 2 as well. For the same reason, I did like that actually, and I did like. I had Dead Reckoning. I like the cruciform key. That looked cool. I never really argued about it, but I just like the key, how they did that, and everything else. So.
He did the most to get a hold of the key. So the key is Indiana Jones level MacGuffin.
You know what I don't want to go away without talking about real quick is like I really want to put somewhere. I didn't really talk much about it, unfortunately, because of everything else. But I didn't get team or anything like that either. But one thing I wanted to mention from Final Reckoning that I believe I haven't heard much talk about was the submarine sequence, which I really
that was one of the best missions.
It was again for that reason. Like, it's not necessarily a stunt.
It is.
Yeah.
Is it a stunt? Okay. I wasn't sure if
I feel it's more a mission because it's one continuous.
Like it is. It's a little bit. It kind of overlaps on everything. But I got to tell you, like the power behind it, the vibe behind it, the atmosphere of it made that for me. It's very, very powerful. One of my favorite parts.
So the stunt inside the submarine, that was all done on a soundstage. The jump off of the aircraft carrier into the Arctic, he did that.
That's cool. Very cool. Okay. Great. I think that is going to do it for us. This is our longest episode yet, for obvious reasons, for the Battle Royale. We're to think of some other ones. I want to think of some other wrestling type things we can do. I think we got to do a Royal Rumble next. I'll explain the concept later. We'll see what goes on with that one.
Is there a franchise with 20 odd movies in it?
You never know. You never know how we're going to do it.
Survivor Series, MCU Royal Rumble.
I'd love to do F1 versus Rush.
F1 versus Rush could be one we could do for sure. Going backy to our regularly scheduled programming kind of thing for sure. I haven't seen F1 yet, so I don't.
It's really good. I really liked it.
Cool. Really all right, Driver, where can folks find you?
On Facebook and Instagram at Richard Eric with a K Jarvie, and that's about it.
All right, Matt, where can folks find you?
You can find me here on the POD projects for Holy Snokes every other week. You can find me here for Class Action. Find me on all social media at Matty Morner. You can find my band Morner on all streaming platforms and in a town near you this summer. That's it.
You can find me at Paul Martinuzio. You can find me on Blue Sky. I'm a little bit back on Twitter a little bit, even though I don't love it there. You can also find me all over this channel. Obviously, I do Two Middle-Aged Geeks on Film with BJ Campbell. We are doing the Superman franchise, going into James Gunn Superman. Obviously, we also have a patreon.com/PLD projects where we are doing our MCU rewatch as well, and they'll be coming out on the main channel eventually once we get through enough of them. Of course, Maddie and I do Holy Snokes, as you mentioned. I do review with Lego. We are entering into going outside of the V franchise now. We just started with Independence Day as a films that kind of inspired by V or inspired V or have actors from V. Just a review adjacent, what we're calling it, part of the same feed. And I do my Queen podcast, all that good stuff. So, yeah, I guess that'll do it for us. I don't know what we're doing next. Maybe F1 versus Rush will be next. I don't know. We'll talk about it backstage and we'll go from there.
Superman's coming out as well.
Superman is doing one as well. Absolutely. That's what we can do. So we'll have to see. If you guys have any ideas that you want to see us do, throw in the comments. We'll definitely consider them. And I guess that'll do it. And as always, justice is served.
Or whatever.
Say the final one.
I never remember the final one.
Okay. Henry Cavill's the best. Cut it. That was a perfect ending.
There we go. We're done.